On the broadcast tonight, what students looking to stay over winter break need to know.
And meet the 2023 Winter Commencement Speaker.
All of that and more right now on SUTV News.
Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Lindsay Smith.
And I'm Priscilla Schultz. If you're an on-campus resident and need to stay this winter, the deadline to register is fast approaching. The residence halls will close their doors on Friday, December 15th at 4 p.m. and will not reopen until Saturday, January 20th. If you are not permitted to stay late and attempt to enter the residence halls during this period, your ID will not work. Those looking to stay over break must provide reasoning for the late stay, even if the request is only for the following days after the 15th. However, student-athlete requests will be coordinated with their respective coaches. All students staying late or for the entirety of winter break will be relocated to Mowry Hall and will be charged $120 a week for their meal plan. The deadline to register will close on Monday, December 11th at 4 p.m. Frank Van Buren of class of 1988 will serve as this year's commencement speaker. Van Buren is the Managing Director and Development Officer Leader of CIB for Wells Fargo Company. In this role, he oversees the strategic initiatives and execution for all efforts related to the recruiting, staffing, coaching, training, and development and retention of banking emerging talent. He serves on the board of directors for Veterans Bridge Home and the Shippensburg University Foundation. During his time at SHIP, Van Buren was a member of the Raider football team, earned all Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference honors, and held 5 school records as well.
On Tuesday, State Representative Torrin Ecker held an open house for Shippensburg residents. SUTV's Adam Beam spoke with Representative Ecker on his hopes for 2024.
In 6 weeks, the Republican primaries begin, and the race for the White House begins to heat up. While eyes are on Iowa and New Hampshire, Republicans have nothing to worry about here in Cumberland County, as it remains a stronghold for the GOP, and is represented by this man. Torrin Ecker, the representative for Pennsylvania's 193rd District, serving parts of Cumberland and Adams County. On Tuesday, Representative Ecker held an open house at his Shippensburg office located on West King Street. The open house allowed residents to mingle and talk directly with the man representing them in the House. When asked about what are some of the hopes for the state moving into the new year, here's what Ecker had to say.
Right now we're going to be focusing on issues that we can actually get accomplished. One thing we got to do every year is pass a budget, so actually getting a budget finalized for this year and then next year, start working in on the budget earlier so that we're addressing the needs of Pennsylvania from a financial standpoint. Our number one job every year is to pass a budget.
On the presidential side of things, all eyes will be on Pennsylvania. The state was one of the crucial victories the Democrats secured in the 2020 election. Needless to say, the GOP will be campaigning hard leading up to November. While we still don't know who will be the face of the GOP ticket moving forward, Eckert says he will give them all the support they need in 2024.
As a Republican, I'll support whoever we nominate in finding out who that will be sooner than later. I know there's a lot of folks still in the race. There's some folks dropping out, but we'll kind of see how that plays out as we head into the new year. I think it'll start once the primary season actually kicks off in Iowa and New Hampshire. I think we'll start to see who those candidates are going to be, and we'll run with them and support whoever the nominee is.
For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
The presidents of 3 major universities are on Capitol Hill. Fighting anti-Semitism on campus took center stage Tuesday as the heads of 3 major universities testified before a House Education Subcommittee. Harvard, UPenn, and MIT are not alone in experiencing a rise in on-campus anti-Semitism in recent weeks. At other schools like Cornell, George Washington University, and Tulane, recent anti-Semitic incidents have also made national headlines. The university president testified Tuesday, insisting they're committed to safety and inclusion for all students. Coming up next in World News, we have the latest on the deadly shooting at the University of Nevada.
And what's next for the recently expelled George Santos, when we return with more SUTV.
Are you failing a class or don't know what you're doing? You're in luck. Shippensburg Primary Academic Resource Center is free to all SHIP students. The Student Success Center, also known as the Learning Center, is located on the first floor of Mallory Hall. The center provides a variety of services, including course-based tutoring, writing tutoring, and learning specialists. To schedule an in-person or Zoom appointment, visit the Student Success Center collaborative website, ship.campus.eab.com. I'm Will Nicholson with SUTV.
Are you having a hard time focusing on your work? Why not check out the Ezra Lehman Memorial Library? The library has many resources like the IT desk on the main floor. For computer assistance, see the experts. Need to print in black and white or color? Don't worry, the library offers both options on different floors. You can use the bottom floor for group work and the top floor for when you need silence. Don't forget to stop by Starbucks. Check out library.ship.edu for more information. This is a public service announcement from SUTV.
Surfers in South Africa are doing their part to clean up the environment.
Here to tell us more about it is SUTV's Michael Salvatore.
3 people are dead and another one is injured after gunfire erupted on the University of Nevada's Las Vegas campus Wednesday. According to officials, the suspect, who is also dead, was a former college professor whose connection to UNLV is unknown at this time. A law enforcement source told CNN. Yes, SUTV's Adam Beam has more.
Copy that, Chief. We have one patient right now. Supposedly we have more patients inside with an active shooter.
At 11:45 here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the roar of gunfire erupts. Students and teachers barricaded in their classrooms. Police are quickly on the scene, and 40 minutes later, the all clear is given. And now, we must piece together the reason behind yet another act of senseless violence to face our country. When speaking to the Associated Press, a law enforcement official identified the suspected shooter as 67-year-old Anthony Polito. A former college professor at East Carolina University, Polito was killed in a shootout with police, but not before claiming the lives of 3 individuals, and a 4th is still in critical condition. However, names have not been released as of December 7th. The shooting is now the 2nd deadliest in the city's history since the 2017 shooting that claimed 60 lives and wounded 400. Now, as the dust settles, students and parents must adjust and pick up the pieces, while lawmakers remain divided on what comes next.
Now I just feel angry. The fact that this happens over and over again is ridiculous. School shootings have been happening since I was born. I was born in the year 2000. It's 2023, and I'm tired of it.
Because you see all these school shooting stuff always, and I'm like, I kind of knew it was going to happen to me one day, but it's weird to have it real. It's scary, and it's real, and it needs to be taken seriously.
I started watching the windows with a couple other kids to just see what we could see, and we saw students running out in single file lines with their hands up, scared, and we saw officers going in little groups.
The fear that permeated every one of those children, every one of those professors. It's a very difficult time, and it's time for us, as the adults, enough. It is enough.
And unfortunately, just to almost prove that's true on this day, just this afternoon we learned about another shooting near the campus at UNLV in Nevada. Our prayers are with the victims. Our prayers are with their families.
The shooting at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas is now the 80th school shooting this year, and a continuous reminder that our classrooms are not safe. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
Former Congressman George Santos is blaming a lie from another lawmaker on his expulsion from Congress. Santos says he was accused by Republican Representative Max Miller, who claimed that he and his mother were defrauded by Santos, and that ended up costing his seat in the House. Santos said Miller sent out the accusation shortly before Friday's vote, but that he didn't have time to refute. Miller stands by his claims and says he has evidence that he has provided to relevant authorities. The ethics panel found that Santos blatantly stole from his campaign, including for travel, Botox, and even the adult website OnlyFans. Santos is now the 6th member of the House to be expelled from Congress. Last month was reportedly the warmest November on record. The Japan Meteorological Agency reports that November 2023 beat the previous record set in 2020 by 0.3 degrees Celsius and was 1.6 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial temperatures. November also marked the 6th month in a row of record global average temperatures. Scientists have said this year's exceptional warmth is the result of combined effects of El Nino and human-caused climate change. Up before dawn, rummaging through bins and household waste for recyclable materials, these people go by many names, doing dangerous work in a dangerous city. They pile their finds high in huge sacks as they surf from miles down busy highways to sorting spots to get paid. These are informal workers, eking out a way to survive day to day from the city's waste. But as CNN's David McKenzie reports, their work has an important environmental impact for our climate.
Tlamoke Mokoka and his cart are on the move. His job goes by many names here: reclaimer, hustler, even urban surfer. It's dangerous work in a dangerous city. There are thousands like Mokoka fanning out well before dawn. After an hour on the road, he's in a neighborhood south of the city.
I'm looking for the plastics.
I'm looking for plastics, cardboard boxes, metals and cans, he says.
Metals.
And it's a dirty job, do you mind?
I don't mind.
What they discard, he recycles, earning about $150 a month. It's steadier than his old construction job, and Mokoka likes being his own boss. There aren't any jobs here, he says, so we've made our own work. Making their own work with the scale and impact that's hard to overstate. Just look at the sorting zone near Joburg, where thousands live. It's informal, but hardly simple. Everything is carefully separated. Everything has value.
Towards the top of the pecking order are cans. Now, a bag of these will get reclaimers almost $40 US. As they say, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
I'm always surprised how rich people throw away so much rubbish, says Kakat Lakhang, but I'm happy they do. This collection took them weeks. I don't know much about climate change, he says. Of course, I'm glad we can help, but what matters is to survive. Today is payday, and every bag is carefully weighed.
70.
There's always trust amongst us, says middleman Motsama, though he seems a little skeptical. Had to double check they didn't put any water in the bottles to make them heavier, he says. It must just be the plastic bottles. What reclaimers don't find end up in a nearby landfill. Even here, the desperate salvage what they can. Back in the neighborhoods, Mokoka's in a race against the dump trucks.
Done, we have done.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Just in time.
Oh.
Today they arrived a bit late.
I have more stuff today, man.
More stuff?
More stuff than other days. Okay.
Mokoka is proud of his work, proud of his effort.
Yeah, I feel so happy.
I feel so happy, he says, because I'm going to put bread on the table. David McKenzie, CNN, Johannesburg, South Africa.
That'll do it for this week's World News. I'm Michael Salvatore. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
Coming up in entertainment, the decade-long wait for Grand Theft Auto 6 is finally over.
Time Magazine has officially named their Person of the Year, and we'll reveal them in the entertainment right after this quick break.
Here at Multicultural Student Affairs, we value every student. No matter your race or ethnicity, you are guaranteed a home here. MSA offers many resources: a place to study, a place to meditate, a place to socialize, or a safe place to communicate issues or talk with a faculty member. Come down to Gilbert Hall today and join our family. Our roots run deep. Why not grow together? This is a public service announcement from MSA.
If you're looking for a way to get involved and inform the community, student media is the place to be. With SHIP's award-winning newspaper, The Slate, Emmy-winning television station SUTV, campus radio station 88.7 WSYC, and Public Relations Society PRSSA, no matter what you're interested in, student media has something for you. Visit the second floor of the Cub or Roland Hall for more information. This is a public service message from SUTV.
Well, it's getting close to the coldest time of the year.
Yeah, I saw flurries on my way to class the other morning, and I was pretty excited about that.
I'd rather if it's this cold, it just snows already.
Yeah, and I'm praying for a white Christmas, because I love a white Christmas.
Me too. Let's send it over to Allison Ritchie with this week's weather.
Thanks, Lindsay and Priscilla. As everybody knows, finals start next week, and I sure am feeling the heat from my projects and exams. However, the weather outside isn't so hot. Today, we saw a mostly cloudy high around 45 degrees. Students are beginning to bust out their puffer jackets. Tomorrow won't be as cool with a high in the mid-50s and the sun poking out here and there. This warmer streak sticks around into the weekend with highs edging on 60 degrees. Sunday will be mild with rain, so take this opportunity to stay inside and study for some exams. As we enter the week ahead, temperatures drop back down to the mid-40s. Next Thursday, we may even see a couple flurries. With that, I wish everyone the best of luck on their final exams and projects. Congratulations to all graduating students. For one last time this semester, I'm Allison Ritchie, and up next is Alexander Haig with this week's entertainment.
Taylor Swift's banner year continues. The pop superstar was named Time's 2023 Person of the Year. The magazine said this year, the 33-year-old achieved a nuclear fusion, shooting art and commerce together to release an energy of historic force. Her Eras tour grossed $2.2 billion in North American ticket sales alone. It was StubHub's biggest tour in the website's history. Not only that, but Swift's concert film, Taylor Swift: The Eras Tour, raked in $96 million in the box office in the US and Canada. Even the NFL used her stardom to attract audiences after her relationship with Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce went public. Swift is the first figure from the arts to be named Person of the Year. She beat out 8 other finalists, including OpenAI's Sam Altman, the Hollywood Strikers, Barbie, and Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. The highly anticipated trailer for Grand Theft Auto was released early Tuesday in response to unauthorized leaks. Regardless of the leaks, the GTA community celebrated the new trailer with high praise. GTA 6 will be Rockstar's newest addition with photorealistic graphics and a familiar environment as it's meant to replicate Florida. It's unclear how much fans could be paying for GTA 6, but it's set to release sometime in 2025. I'm quite excited for GTA 6. Can't wait to explore Leonida. But GTA wasn't the only major trailer to drop this week. Here with a look at everything else is SUTV's Adam Beam.
Trailers, trailers, and more trailers. This week has been jam-packed with exclusive first looks at some of 2024's most anticipated releases.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
For theaters, Warner Brothers dominated with 2 massive trailers. The first was for the long-awaited prequel film Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. The film will see Anya Taylor-Joy take over the role for Charlize Theron and will go head-to-head with Chris Hemsworth's Dementis. Speaking of epic showdowns, a Royal Rumble is on its way as Godzilla and Kong team up to face a new threat in Godzilla x Kong: New Empire. The film is set to roar into theaters on April 12th, while Furiosa races in a month later on May 24th. Moving over to the small screen, Amazon unveiled the first glimpses at its anticipated adaptation of the beloved Fallout games. The series stars Ella Purnell, Kyle MacLachlan, and Walter Goggins, and may give competition to the Monsterverse when it debuts on April 12th as well.
Like Caesar.
Like Caesar.
One of Amazon's biggest series is back in bloody fashion for its 4th go-around. The boys will return for another crazy season in 2024. However, no release date has been set at this time. We also don't have a release date yet for our return to Westeros, but House of the Dragon Season 2 is set to hit Max this summer, while the winter set True Detective Night Country will kick off the year on January 14th. For SUTV Entertainment, I'm Adam Beam.
Acclaimed music artist, The Weeknd, is providing 4 million meals to help people in Gaza. The artist, a UN Goodwill Ambassador since 2021, has directed $2.5 million from his XO Humanitarian Fund to humanitarian efforts in Gaza. The meals will feed more than 173,000 Palestinians for 2 weeks. The fund has raised $5 million to date. The first $2.5 million went to support emergency food assistance to women and children in Ethiopia. The rest will be allocated to the Gaza response. One of rock's most influential bands, KISS, set to embark on a new era of touring. Our very own Jeremy Perna has a story.
As legendary rock and roll band KISS plans to kiss live touring goodbye, no pun intended, after a successful 50-year run, the band has revealed a modernized method to spread live music to their audience despite retirement. Gene Simmons, Tommy Thayer, and Paul Stanley gave fans a preview of their steps moving forward during the encore of their final show Saturday night at Madison Square Garden. During the encore, they revealed their virtual avatars that will be taking the stage as the band moves forward. This new modernized form of spreading music virtually is being assisted by George Lucas's special effects company, as their goal is to continue the greatness that KISS has brought to their fans. KISS guitarist Paul Stanley said, quote, "What we have accomplished has been amazing, but it's not enough. The band deserves to live on because the band is bigger than we are," end quote. The revealing of KISS's plans moving forward comes in the new age of music, especially during COVID-19, where musical artists went into the alternative to turn to virtual concerts while in quarantine. With this new day and age in music and the virtual world, I've caught up with several students to give their input on the modernization of live music.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, sometimes if like musicians get older and stuff, they don't have the time or really place to really tour out, so it's really cool that they can get like a sense of like they're actually there.
So I think virtual concerts are honestly a kind of cool option. I mean, I personally wouldn't want to pay a lot of money for one, but in the era, obviously, like post-COVID, I think it can be smart, and I think it is kind of genius to use new technology to your advantage.
Despite mixed reaction from KISS fans and music fans across the world, band members are confident that the virtual display of music will make its legacy last forever. However, KISS did not yet specify whether these virtual avatars will go live on tour. With SUTV News, this is Jeremy Perna.
That will do it for entertainment this week. I'm Alexander Haig. Now let's send you back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
When sports brings us back, one redshirt freshman breaks a nearly 30-year record on the basketball court.
And the college football community is in an uproar over the recent decision to exclude Florida State from this year's playoffs. When sports returns with more.
Are you a commuter that feels disconnected? Then stop by the Commuter Lounge in Cub 209 to learn more about opportunities to get involved in Shippensburg. Check out the lounge space to socialize with other commuters with a kitchenette, computers, games, and more. Get involved in the community and meet fellow commuters through the Raider Neighbor program. Never miss a moment at SHIP. Learn how to become a part of the commuter community by emailing Bridget Allen at bcallen@ship.edu. This is a public service announcement from SUTV.
Men and women's basketball suffered a pair of tough losses Wednesday night, as the men's teams took on Bowie State on the road, as redshirt freshman Marcus Frank was called for an offensive foul with seconds left in the game as he was attempting to drive in the game-winning shot. The Raiders would suffer a heartbreaking 1-point loss. Women's basketball took on Chestnut Hill on the road in Philadelphia. The Raiders struggled mightily in the first quarter, which yielded only 2 points. The Raiders attempted to come back, but ran out of time as Chestnut Hill took the 63-53 victory. All Shippensburg athletics are entering the final exam break as more basketball action will resume, with the women's team traveling to California University of Pennsylvania on December 18th. Last Saturday was the first official meet to start the indoor track season. The event held at Bucknell provided SHIP with 6 NCAA provisional qualifying performances. 3 freshmen stood out during their collegiate debut. LeVar Jackson broke the school record in the indoor 200-meter at a mere 21.57 seconds, with a converted time making him the fastest in the nation in D2. Jack Kearney placed first in the 400 with a PSAC qualifier of 49.64 seconds, taking a spot in Shippensburg's all-time top 10 times. Let's not forget about the field athlete Gian Grego throwing 56 feet 9.5 inches in a shot put, not only standing as a provisional qualifier, but also ranked 3rd in school history. The team is bound to set many more records with their next meet this Saturday at Lehigh University. This past weekend, in the midst of an NFL, NBA, and NHL season, college football playoff implications were on the line, and the 4 teams were decided Sunday afternoon. The conference championship weekend kicked off Friday night with one of the biggest matchups, where Washington took down Oregon for the 2nd time this season to cap off their undefeated season. On Saturday, the big matchups of the day were between Alabama and Georgia and Florida State and Louisville. Alabama upset Georgia and snapped their 29-game win streak and made the committee reconsider the current rankings. Florida State capped off their undefeated season behind 3rd-string quarterback Brock Glenn, who had less than 100 passing yards on the night, filling in for superstar Jordan Travis. After all the dust had settled, the rankings were ready to be announced and the final 4 teams were set. The top 2 seeds were fairly obvious to most, as Michigan had taken care of business and Washington had a big win that weekend. Michigan took the 1 seed and Washington had the 2 seed. As for the final 2 spots, things were not as straightforward. The committee finally decided on the last 2 teams being Texas and the surprising Alabama, despite Florida State finishing the season undefeated. This decision left Florida State fans devastated and left many people shocked and upset. This decision will not be as difficult in years to come, as they will be expanding the playoffs to 12 teams next year. Playoff games will kick off during the New Year's season. That's all for sports this week. I'm Ben Willey. Now back to Lindsay and Priscilla at the desk.
When we close out the show tonight, see how one classroom is making a difference this holiday season.
SUTV will be right back after this quick message.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How could you not love him?
Kids with disabilities don't regularly see toys that represent them. Now a group of college students in Roanoke, Virginia are trying to do something about that issue. Amaya Howard tells us how a group is modifying toys to be more inclusive this holiday season.
Toys Like Me at Roanoke College is a group of students and faculty modifying toys to reflect kids with disabilities and medical issues. Roanoke College professor Frances McCutcheon founded the not-for-profit 7 years ago.
The kids get the toys before their surgery, and the toys are explained to them. The surgery is explained to them on the toy, which is more respectful in many cases, especially for kids who don't like to be touched.
Like, you go to the store, you don't really see many toys with disabilities. It's nice to have something that looks and represents you.
Victoria Fobb is a senior at Roanoke College. She's been a part of Toy Like Me since her freshman year.
Making their Christmas normal would be one word, but I think the word we prefer is inclusive. That their Christmas is just like anybody else's Christmas.
Fobb's mom is a teacher for kids with disabilities. She says she's happy there's a community effort to making kids feel seen.
So I've always kind of been around kids with disabilities, but it means a lot to me that there's an organization like this that helps modify toys.
The donations to the rail yard dogs come to us, we modify them, and then we send them on to Carillion. So it's a whole community effort now.
The toys will go to kids at Carilions Hospital during Roanoke College's exam week before Christmas.
When the kids are smiling and laughing and their parents haven't seen them smile in so long, or they're coming out of surgery and they're in pain, but this little smile comes out, it means so much to the moms and dads too.
This is such a great way for every child to feel special this holiday season.
I agree. It makes me happy seeing all kids being represented this holiday season. That's it for SUTV News this semester. I'm Priscilla Schultz.
And I'm Lindsay Smith. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News. And check out our website, sutvnews.org.
We'll see you all in January. Have a fun and safe winter break. Good night.